So with everything that's going on, my 9-year-old is terrified. He could not sleep that night. He literally stayed up all night, and I promised, like, I'm gonna stay up with you. We like slept in the same bed, and if I even closed my eyes too much, he would like hit me and be like, "No, you have to be up." Because he was terrified, like shaking all night. Like all I could do was like read the Bible to him and pray with him. Like we prayed like we've never prayed before. I read Psalm 91 for protection over us. Like that was it, because it was terrifying, right? Like to have your door just kicked down like that and not know who it was. It was so scary. So the next day I'm like, you don't have to go to school. Like this is too much. Just stay home with me. But because I had heard my kids talk to my dad and him wanting to know if my son was downstairs in the basement, I was like, you gotta go, like, lay down in your bed. I want you to, like, go to sleep. It's daytime, go to sleep. I'm gonna sit in your bed with you and, like, watch you, and you'll be good. So I take him upstairs to his bed. He, like, falls asleep, and I had my other two kids' phones still. So I power on their phones. I couldn't unlock my oldest one's, but I could unlock my middle son's phone. And I don't want to put all of my son's business out there, but I found very sexually explicit conversations in his phone. I did not know he was having sex. I found very sexually explicit conversations with his cousin, my nephew. And his cousin texted him, like in this conversation, his cousin texted him and was like, what would your dad do if he saw these messages? And then his cousin, my nephew, says, oh, he would just perform oral sex on us. I'm not going to say what he said, but that's what he said. So that's when I knew for sure what was happening to my kids. I had had my suspicions after I left. My youngest got very, very clingy, but I was like, maybe that's because like, the divorce, separation, it's a lot emotionally. But I knew because when I was living in this shelter, I went to go pick up my kids to take them to golf, and I'm like, you gotta take a shower before I can get you. And my baby like starts screaming and crying. He's like, no, I just don't want to go. Please don't make me go. Please don't make me go. I'm just gonna stay home. I don't want to go anymore. Please, please, please. And I hear his dad in the background like, no, you gotta go take a shower. And I'm like, no, he's never acted like that about taking a shower. Something is definitely wrong. He doesn't want to get undressed and take a shower for a reason. So even that day, I was like, you gotta tell me if something's happening to you. And he's like, no. I was just like, Dad was yelling at me, and I didn't feel like listening to Dad yell at me. I'm like, no. And then as soon as I moved in, he was super clingy to the point that if I left the room, he would get upset. Like, he wanted to come with me everywhere I went. And he was never like that before. And my oldest had mentioned, like, oh yeah, Ashton sleeps in Dad's bed every night. And I was like, that's weird, because when I lived here, when we were together, Ashton was afraid of like sleeping in his room. But every time he would ask to sleep in our bed, my husband would scream and yell and tell him no, he has to be a big boy. And then as soon as I move out, you're sleeping with a 9-year-old in your bed every night. That's weird. So I actually researched like what are the signs of SA in children, because I know in my heart, I know. And so every single sign, every single one, my kids, at least one of my kids exhibited. You know, the behavioral changes, everything. And I knew. And it wasn't until, but the thing is, I kept asking my kids, and everybody kept saying no. And then I saw the text message, and so I was like, okay, I am. So I think Ashton was just waking up, or I might even woke him up, because it's, as you can imagine, very shocking. And I'm like, I know that you said no, but listen, like, I know. You don't have to like hide anymore. I know. Your brother's phone told me everything I need to know. And he's like, maybe it's happening to Peyton Lane, and it's not happening to me though. I'm like, Ashton, do you know, like, all these different things that you do that you didn't used to do before? Like, these are all signs. I researched it. He's like, wow, that's weird. And then Ryan's like, okay, it's happening. And I'm just being calm and like trying not to panic because I don't want him to panic. And, you know, I'm just like, well, how long? He's like, I can't remember how, like, many times. Like, I don't know. And like, when? And he's like, oh, when Peyton's on the phone with his girlfriend and Landon's playing video games and Dad gets me. So I called 911. And the police officer who came to my house that day, when I told them that my husband took my kids, calls me back and is like, you are lying. You are just being difficult and trying to start stuff. Like, I have a crazy text message in my son's phone, and I have a 9-year-old who is telling me out of his mouth, and I'm not asking for details because I don't know how to even approach this, and I don't want to mess him up, so I need like a professional, but like, I have evidence. And he's like, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. If you have evidence, bring it to the station. That's when I'm like, this is weird, number one. Number two, I don't even have money because I had to like buy hundreds of dollars worth of groceries when I moved in here. And again, I have not gotten paid in like 3 or 4 months at this point. What am I supposed to do? So like, and I'm not going there because they're acting weird. You just called me a liar. So I'm like trying to call 911, trying to get somebody different, but he keeps calling me, and I just stopped answering his phone calls. And I tried calling the precinct and like talking to somebody different. I tried calling, like reaching out to internal affairs at the sheriff's office, and I tell them what's happening. They're like, so what, do you want to like file a report or something? I'm like, what? Like, that's a weird response. That's weird. So I'm like, the only thing, I'm gonna like bypass the police. I'm gonna go to the hospital and like get an exam so we have like record. But again, I don't have a car because I quit my job and gave up on my cars. I don't have even money for an Uber. Let me just get an ambulance. Like, I just gotta get out of here now. And I don't even know like if my dad's coming, if he's coming, I don't know. Like, we just gotta get out of here. That's all I know. So call 911 yet again. I call like 9 times that day. Call 911 again, and I'm like, hey, my son's been SA'd. I need like an ambulance. We need to get to the hospital. And they're like, we don't send ambulances for that. I'm like, actually, I fell down the stairs. I can't walk. I need an ambulance. I can't like do anything. And they're like, okay. And then the ambulance pulls up, passed through 5 different police cars, including the officer who called me a liar, acting like I didn't remember when I had just seen him earlier that day. Get in the ambulance. They're acting kind of weird, but I'm like, it's women. So even in the ambulance, I'm like, listen, I need help for my son. She's like, okay. But I thought it was weird because I was recording in the ambulance, and I saw one of the like EMTs. She looked at my phone and she looked at the other one and like pointed at my phone. And like, that's weird because why do you really care that I'm recording? But I don't know. So we get to the hospital, I'm like, we're finally safe, and I like hug my baby and I'm like, we're safe, I promise you it's never gonna happen again, I promise you it's safe, like, we're gonna take care of this. And he's like, I don't know, I'm still scared. I'm like, don't be scared, we're at the hospital, what could happen? And that's where I was wrong, because that's where it got even